pain is pain, and hurt is hurt, and loss is loss is loss is loss. Right.
Yep.
And trying to compare it or say mine's worse or mine's more noble or mine's, man, loss is loss is loss. Who's witnessing this with you? Grief demands a witness, that people grieve together. And I think that's one of the great curses of our time. Who's with you on this journey you're on?
I am so fortunate to be surrounded by so many friends and family members and even acquaintances, past coworkers, people I haven't heard from in years have caught wind of this. And, I'd like to think that being there for people, what goes around comes around, good or bad, and it pays interest. And I've had friends show up at my door that they flew in from Nashville. They flew in from Sacramento. I've got friends in England who have said, as soon as these borders open, I'm coming for you. And
tell people what that means to have that community, because this is not something you developed after this happened. This is years and years of you being a person of, like you said, investing in friendships and in community relationships, not if, but when something goes sideways. And tell people what that feels like to have people just showing up at your door, not saying anything, bringing some crummy food and just sitting with you, or saying, I'll be there. Like, walk people through the feeling of that.
It's an interesting feeling, and I will do my best to try to describe it. When you would do anything for the people that you love, friends, family, strangers, whoever. When I say Jordan was a great stranger, a perfect stranger, I think maybe that was one of his best characteristics. And we have always said to each other, we have no idea what somebody else is going through. To know that people caught wind of this and dropped everything and just got on a plane or came over, nobody knows what to do, right? Everybody says, tell me if you need anything, call me if you ever need anything. Truth be told, you have no idea what you need because you're in the thick of it. And I probably still am in some ways. But
Laura,
experience that coming back is...
Laura, you for sure are.
yeah.
For sure. The chances of you even remembering this call 6 months from now is pretty slim. But yeah, you're for sure in the thick of it. Yeah.
But to have that love and that outpouring around you, not only for yourself, but for your spouse, it means a lot. And it has taught me a lot about when other people I know in the future may be experiencing. I hope that they never go through anything like this, but other traumas and other difficult situations. Sometimes you might not know what to say. You don't want to call somebody when you think they're having a good day. What if they start crying? They're going to cry anyway, so just show up for them.
Yeah. So if you could be up on a stage in front of 1,000 couples, dating, married, on the brink of divorce, figuring out, 20 years in, and they're figuring out if they still like each other. If you could stand up there and give one piece of advice, of wisdom to married couples, not that you know everything, right? You've only been married a few years, but you're standing up there on the other side of a mountain that many people will never climb. What would you tell them?
You still have time. That's really it. I mean, there's, you still have the one thing that I can't buy or make more of, and you've still got that. That is such an incredible asset and resource to have, but it's also something that we take for granted. And if you're willing to put the work in with each other and invest your time in your marriage, in your relationship, in whatever you're struggling with, that's the hard part already done. You still have the opportunity. And I would give every last dime I ever made in this lifetime to have one more conversation. You've still got time.
That may be one of the most profound statements I've heard in several years. You've still got time, period.
But you don't know how much.
That's right. Every second
so get
counts.
after it.
Yeah. So this is an unfair question I'm going to ask you, and you can just say, I don't know, you idiot. Or you can just guess, knowing that we'll all be graceful with you. What's next for you? Like, what does tomorrow look like? What's the next few weeks look like for you? What do you have circling around your heart and mind today, knowing that it's going to change?
So Jordan and I are both very big baseball fans. And people have said to me, what do you need? What do you need? Tell me what you need. Tell people when your fridge is full, because it'll just keep showing up. So that's one thing.
Oh, the Western world loves to eat, Laura.
The thing that's next for me is I started telling Jordan's friends and family, if you don't know what to do for me, I'll tell you this. Come with me to a baseball game. Sit with me at Coors Field here in Denver. Talk to me about Jordan. Ask me questions about Jordan. Or we can just sit there in silence, have a beer, have a hot dog, and just watch a game. And that closeness that you can feel with somebody who just sits right next to you, you don't even have to say anything, that's priceless.
Yeah. Don't have to have... In fact, it's not only do you not have to have the right things to say. Would you agree, Laura? There is nothing anybody can say. It's a matter of, hey, I'm going to go get another beer. You want one? Right?
Absolutely. You're spot on right there. And the thing is that sometimes the conversations that have made me feel so much better are the people who have been upfront and have said to me, Laura, there are no words. I'm just going to tell you how really, insert choice word, messed up this is. And I'm not going to say it was Jordan's time. I'm not going to say at least you got X amount of months.
Oh, jeez. Nobody say that ever.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Nobody say that, because, to be honest, I moved back to Denver from Australia in 2019. I met Jordan a few weeks later. One of the best things about my husband is that when I shared with him early on that men in the past had called me a commitment phobe or a flight risk, he grabbed my hand and said, where are we going?
Whew, he was smooth, dude. That's a smooth line right there. I'll give him that one, Laura.
Only knew. If you only knew.
That's a good
to
line.
Be that person and to come back home to the U.S. and to be with somebody, marry them, move in with them, and to have lost them all in less than 2 years.
Wow.
They're out there. Don't settle and don't give up, because if I can experience that, I've just learned that if you're holding on so tight to something you're afraid to let go of, you don't want to be alone, the Lord or the universe isn't going to put anything in full hands, because there's no room for it.
I love that. So, number one, I want to thank you for being brave and for giving me a call, and for telling your story here, and for inspiring people to be positive people, finding beauty even when it's a mess, for teaching people, you're modeling for people how to talk about really heavy trauma and really heavy loss. And you gave me a few quotes, right? Be a great stranger to people, and to remember you still have time. Thank you so much for sharing that. Hey, Laura, I'm gonna tell you this, two things that I've seen over the last, decade of sitting with folks in your exact situation. The tendency is to, like you said, start looking at text messages and voice messages and behaviors and things and trying to re-pattern and recreate the past. I've never found somebody that brought them peace. And I've never found somebody that found a dotted line that made them go, oh, okay. The only thing I've ever seen people find peace is with how you're doing, which is taking crooked steps into the future in an effort to honor this awesome, awesome guy. And the second thing is, I want to commend you for telling your story, and I hope you will continue to tell this story. And you mentioned something that I want to make sure that you don't forget. You mentioned that you're the only one that knows his secrets, and that there is a story to tell there. There's lives to be saved there. There are relationships to be mended there. But I also want you to remember that you're the only one that knows your secrets, and those are worthy of being told too. And you're a brave, strong, brilliant woman. And my day is infinitely better. My life is better because you took some time to tell your story. And I'm confident with 100% certainty that the people listening to this have taken a moment to exhale, probably a breath they haven't exhaled in years, and are grateful that you took that time to be brave too. So thank you, Laura, for telling your story.
Thanks, John. I really appreciate it. And if you're ever in Denver, your baseball ticket's on me, including June 20th for Jordan's celebration of life.
I'm so grateful for that. When the Astros play, I will be there, and they will probably cheat, but they will still win. They will beat your precious Rockies, right? Thank you so much, Laura. To everybody listening, I don't care where you are, what you're working through, what you're struggling through, you still have time. You're worth being well. Find somebody to talk to. Find somebody to reach out to. Find somebody that you love. Find somebody that you don't know that you want to get to know. If your relationship's on life support, you still got time. You still got time.